Hey, you know what time it is? It's time to talk corn. There's a bright golden haze in the meadow. She's singing again. That's Lucy Brain. She's got a song for everything, even vegetables. The meadow, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. You want to grow some awesome corn easily, successfully for your family? This is the ticket. So, it's corn planting day. Go over some quick steps and show you a couple photographs. I soaked my corn seeds in the solution that I recommend, which is 2 cups of warm water with 2 tablespoons of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Soak the corn overnight in an airtight container. Next day, I rinsed them and I placed them in damp paper towels inside a Ziploc bag. From there, they went on the heat garden mat, and in 2 days, we had sprouts. So it is time to plant them in net cups. So let's talk corn for a minute. Why are we seed starting corn? Well, the reason I'm seed starting corn is because I grow my corn in grow bags, 7-gallon grow bags in kiddie pools. So it's a container method of growing. Now I could just plant the corn seeds in the bag like you normally do in in-ground garden planting, but here's the reason why you don't want to do that. You want to seed start them. In the containers, you want all of your corn to be the same height, and each bag contains 4 corn. So if you seed start them, then you can select the 4 that are the same height for the bag. In the kiddie pool, you're going to use 5 7-gallon bags in the circle on the kiddie pool, and the reason for that is for pollination. Corn is pollinated by the wind, and that is the best arrangement for corn. You know, they'll say grow corn in blocks. Well, at least with the 20 corn that you have in those 5 7-gallon bags being planted in a circle, it's similar to having it in blocks. You would have to build you a pretty good size modified kiddie pool to be able to grow the corn in like 3 rows, like a big block. So in planting the corn is a heavy feeder. Right now this is just regular Larry's potting mix recipe. When we pot up into the bags though, we're going to change the mix a little bit. We're going to be amending it with additional compost, about 2.5 gallons to the batch of mix, because it is such a heavy feeder. In addition to that, I'll be adding a handful of 10-10-10 fertilizer to the mix, but by doing that, you have to have a special way to fill the bag because you won't be able to plant right away. You want that fertilizer to dissolve so that it will not burn the roots of your plant when you get ready to plant it. But I'll show you all that as we continue on in this video series on corn. So what I have here is a great big tray with a lot of net cups. I've already got my hole. I watered it just a little bit. The mix was already damp, but I wanted to get it just a little more wet. I've got a nice hole down in here, probably about 1.5 inches deep. Corn usually likes to be planted around 2 inches, but the net cup's not quite that tall, so I just kind of split the difference and go 1.5 inches. When you plant your corn, you want to plant it where the crown is facing up. So the crown is, I don't know how to show you this up close, but the crown would be the fat part, not the pointy part. And let me get a little closer. I want to show you this. You'll see why. Excuse my dirty hands. If you can see on this kernel of corn that's sprouted really dramatically, we have a little white root that's coming from the tip. It's actually kind of going back upwards. And then we have the green sprout, which would be the leaves. So you want the crown, the fatty part of the corn, which is the crown, to face up. Most seeds will right themselves, but my friend Bud said corn for some reason gets kind of confused. So I always make sure crown up. Corn is considered one of those vegetables that doesn't like to have its roots disturbed. So with that in mind, that's a long root. With that in mind, I only plant one seed per net cup because I don't like wasting any of my corn kernels. Because if you plant 2 seeds per net cup, then you've got to wait and see which one is the stronger of the two and use a sterile pair of scissors to cut the other one out. And with corn, I don't like to waste it. So I'd rather waste a net cup if one doesn't sprout versus wasting a corn kernel. How many should you plant? Well, you ever heard that old farmer saying, 1 for the blackbird, 1 for the crow, 1 for the soil, and 1 to grow. I don't know that you need to do 4 times as many plants as you intend on planting, but I would definitely plant some extras because they're likely are not all going to germinate. Some may germinate, but then be kind of weak looking. Another thing I love about doing corn in containers is because I'm a little bit OCD, and making sure I have corn that all germinates and it's all the same height is just beautimous to me. It used to drive me a little bit nuts when we would plant corn out in the garden, in ground, and beautiful little rows, and then some would not germinate, so I'd have holes. I didn't like that. Okay, they're all planted in the hole. Now I'm just adding some more potting mix to cover them up. After they're all covered, I'll give them just a little bit of water on the top, and then cover them with saran wrap. I don't have a lot of room in my house. It's really best to keep them at about 70 degrees. So I have more room out here in my greenhouse. Stays pretty warm, but what I'll probably do is bring out a garden heat mat to put under it because the nights are still getting a little cold. If not, I'll just be running my heater in there, so that should suffice. These should start sprouting pretty quickly. Corn grows fast. You want to check it every day, lift the saran wrap, and once the majority of the corn is all emerging, then you take the saran wrap off. You also want to check the weight of the cups each day when you undo the saran wrap to make sure there's enough water, enough moisture. You don't want it soggy. If you watched any of my other seed starting videos, I kind of showed you that. You feel the weight of the cup before you've watered it, and then after you've added 2 to 3 tablespoons, you feel the weight of it then, and that's the weight that you want. once your seedlings emerge, you need to remove the saran wrap and get them under lights immediately. They need to be 1 to 1.5 inches under your lights. Now mine are going to be in the greenhouse, but if it's not getting enough light, I may have to set up a light out there. Corn are sun worshipers. Don't be in too big a hurry to start your seeds too early. Under the right conditions, they're going to grow quickly. You really want to transplant when they're between 6 and 8 inches tall into your containers. Normally, I would wait until the corn was more developed so that I could show you in stages exactly how to do everything, but I think it would be best for me to go ahead and post this video because a lot of you are ready to start your corn and maybe this will help you. But I will continue to add to the video series on corn so that you can see the steps all along the way. You can count on me. So, bye for now, and remember, have a good one. Corny, cornbread, cornfield, corn cob, cornucopia. Back you into a corner. And once your seedlings emerge, you need to take the saran wrap, corn pone. Jubilation to eat corn pone, old tattered and torn pone. Jubilation to eat corn pone. Da 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 da. Something.